There are a lot of films in the cinema at the moment. Some absolute blockbusters, some corkers, and something a little bit heartwarming. I'm Josh Rom, and this is Film Watch. There's quite a few films in the cinema at the moment, so we're going to do things a little bit differently today. First and foremost, I'm going to give some profound thoughts on some of the big blockbusters that are currently in the cinemas, and then we've got our feature film review with Sun showbiz reporter Callum Wells. I think you can guess the first film. I'm of course talking about Sir Ridley Scott's Napoleon.
General, we are discovered. Good.
Wait! Nice! It's a trap! Retreat!
Now, brace yourselves. Running time, quite long, 2.5 hours over. Now, Sir Ridley Scott, he's known for quite a few of his films, style over substance, and whilst I think, yes, there is a lot of substance to this film, I think very much the style element was superior. I think that was Ridley's first priority. You know, we've got some real epic scenes. This is an epic film in every sense of the word. Some of the battle sequences do appear long, but they're lavish, they're huge, they're elaborate, they're gritty, they're action-packed, they're gory. This is what we want to see from an epic film. Sometimes I think they do go a little bit too long. Now, in terms of performances, we've got Academy Award winner Joaquin Phoenix as Napoleon. Now, with the hat, I'll just adjust it. Like this hat, I think Joaquin's performance was maybe a little bit wooden. Joaquin, he played Joker. He's known for, I think, in recent times, playing a bit more aloof characters, but I think that was what was he was meant to do, he was meant to be that sort of character. Napoleon was a strategic genius. His enemies never knew what he was going to do, never knew what action he was going to take. And I think that Sir Ridley Scott took the character in that direction as a film character as well. Alongside him, Vanessa Kirby, playing the enigmatic Josephine Bonaparte. And Vanessa Kirby, you know, I know her from Hobbs and Shaw, I know her from The Crown, I know her from Mission Impossible. She is such a versatile actress, something really quite mysterious about her. So overall, Napoleon, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. Some of the battle sequences a bit long, well directed, well made, but Joaquin Phoenix, little bit wooden, little bit aloof. I think the film, it drags on a little bit. There's going to be a director's cut release on Apple TV+. The release that was put into cinemas is the shortened version of the film. And, you know, I think as a result, there were some plot points which didn't quite make sense. I think Sir Ridley Scott probably sat there in the pandemic, a bit like Martin Scorsese with The Killers of a Flower Moon, going, I want to make a movie and I want to make it epic. And you could tell, oh, he thought a lot about this. And I think he wanted to make a big, epic movie. That he did, but unfortunately, some of the substance just wasn't quite there.
What are you? You kind of look like a star. Okay, you can't be. I mean, I know I wished on a, but no.
Next up, we have Disney's Wish. Now, this film has been in the works for a long time, and you can tell there was a lot of effort put into it. Ariana DeBose was amazing in the title character. You had a blink it and you'll miss it, literally blink sort of cameo from UK TV presenter Rochelle Humes. You had all different sorts of animation. What I really liked about the start of this film, there was kind of throwbacks to original Disney films. It kind of opened up with the kind of book when it first telling the story, just like what we saw with the likes of Sleeping Beauty and Cinderella and Snow White. And then there was all different styles of animation. You got a bit of Frozen style animation, a bit of Tangled style animation, but with the kind of two-dimensional backgrounds like we used to see on Sleeping Beauty. And I think the real merging of animation and this kind of the celebratory theme of wishes. A dream is a wish your heart makes. You know, Tinkerbell wishes. A lot of the Disney princesses all had their wishes. This was a real Disney film at its heart. Slightly predictable storyline, but I think, again, that's what Disney's known for. That's what we love Disney for. I do think at times, storyline predictable. There wasn't a lot of humour, which I think was a real shame. We had some kind of throwback moments when Mary Poppins was mentioned and other Disney films, but in terms of the overarching humour, like what we see in, for example, Frozen with Olaf, played by Josh Gad, you know, I think this film was really lacking those laugh out loud moments. I think this is a film strictly for the kids to kind of get their imaginations going, believing in wishes, believing in fantasy worlds, but I think adults might find this film a little bit too juvenile, and for that I have to give it 2.5 out of 5.
Oh, nice tux.
Thank you.
Wow, it's a rental, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Where are we going, Felix?
You think you'll go home?
Honestly, home doesn't mean the same for me as it does for you, Felix.
Well, why don't you come home with me? Come to Saltburn.
Callum, our feature film, Saltburn, first thoughts out the way, go.
I absolutely loved it. I saw this film and I texted you straight away and said, you've got to watch this. And I would actually say it's one of the best films I've ever seen in my life.
Whoa,
I know you find that a bit controversial.
Tiger,
I think it really is. I mean,
it's great. It's no Titanic. It's no Gone with the Wind. But...
I love a dark comedy film. And I loved the elements, you know, the dark comedy elements. I loved the storyline. I loved that it was set in the early 2000s. And also what was really interesting is that Emerald Fennell, the director, she went for the square ratio camera.
Yeah,
because she wanted it to look like you're peeping through a hole, that you're looking into someone else's world. And that really does tell the story of what we're watching here.
100%, because I think, you know, I know Wes Anderson. I've spoken a lot about Wes Anderson. I love Wes Anderson. He's one of my favourite directors. He does that with the aspect ratios to kind of signify different time periods. And as you said, Emerald Fennell wanted it to be naughty. She wanted everything about it to resemble the noughties, and also outside looking in, the peephole kind of thing. I almost find actually at times Yorgos Lanthimos does it the completely opposite edge, where he does the outside looking in but uses the wide angles to create a different sort of atmosphere. But I saw what Emerald Fennell did. What I liked about it, in terms of my first thoughts, I really liked how artistic it felt. The cinematography throughout the movie was absolutely beautiful. I will say this. I do ever so slightly worry about Emerald Fennell's mental health, because both films that she's done, let's just say, without giving too much away, quite psychologically intimate. Would you agree with that description?
I agree with that, but it's like if you look at American Horror Story, for example, would you say that you're worried about Ryan Murphy's mental health?
At times,
really?
yes. Some of the stuff that they dealt with on Glee, some of the stuff that they've dealt with on Feud, you know, American Horror Story, absolutely. American Crime Story.
Yeah, it is all quite tough.
So yes, I would actually also worry about Ryan Murphy's mental health.
But does that mean you're worried about my mental health? Because I love all those films and all those shows. Maybe I shouldn't enjoy that. Well, do you know what? I couldn't watch Dharma because that was too far.
No. We won't go into that.
No.
But you know what? We're digressing. Let's bring it back. Who do you think gave the best performance in this? And we've had some incredible options here. We've got Barry Keoghan, we've got Rosamund Pike, we've got Carey Mulligan in a supporting role, but quite a standout role. We've got, you know, Jacob Elordi, the real up-and-comer of this.
It was nice to see him playing a good guy, whether it be Euphoria or the upcoming Priscilla biopic where he's playing Elvis in a more negative light. He always plays a baddie. So it was interesting to see him in that kind of role.
Well, and this is the thing, actually, you say that. I think people were slightly split over Austin Butler's original portrayal, because those sorts of films, we saw it a bit with Rocketman, definitely with Bohemian Rhapsody, they kind of almost whitewash these careers a little bit and kind of miss out some of the darker elements. Whereas I think, as you say, you know, we've got this kind of what's hinted at as a negative portrayal in the trailer with Jacob Elordi, so I think that's going to be very interesting. But going back to this, we
keep on digressing.
We do keep on digressing, and let's go back to Saltburn properly.
Back to Saltburn.
Rosamund Pike. Now, I know her from performances where she played Marie Curie in Radioactive. I knew her playing the incredible Marie Colvin in A Private War. You know, I know her for doing these really intellectual movies, biopics, you know, quite dark, incredible, profound themes. Although this had profound themes, I really liked how she gave the real comedic performance, emphasis on the dark comedy in this. I think this was a real detachment to what we've seen of her more recent work. Would you have agreed with that statement?
Well, yeah, we were talking about this before, and I was thinking, have I seen Rosamund Pike in a comedy? I don't think I have. So it's nice when actors push their comfort zones and do something else and try new projects, and I thought she was brilliant in it.
And I also think Carey Mulligan,
she's always fantastic. She's always so good
but
in anything she does.
But again, Emerald Fennell, promising young woman.
Yeah.
She gave not the biggest performance in this. She didn't have a main role, but it felt as though her and Emerald Fennell are this new filmmaking match made in heaven, and it almost felt like Emerald Fennell went, I have to include Carey Mulligan in this. I have to put her in this somehow. So she came up with this role of Pamela. Really interesting. Again, I also liked seeing Carey Mulligan practice these comedic chops, even if I think her performance, she was meant to be doing it. I don't think it was outwardly funny, but there was something really quite nuanced to that performance. The timing was spot on.
I thought it was great. I loved it. I love Carey Mulligan in anything. I first saw her in Blink, a Doctor Who episode. Do you remember that one?
I do.
A long time ago.
Very long time ago.
That was when she was a rising star and not many people knew who she was, and now she's ginormous. And I think she's very talented.
I think the great, once she was really, I mean, Never Let Me Go was great. Once she was in The Great Gatsby, that kind of took her career to the next level. Barry Keoghan, now we saw him win the BAFTA last year, Banshees of Inisherin. Do you think he stands a chance this year again in award season for this?
Absolutely. I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so. He's a great actor, and I thought his performance was very captivating in this film.
I think definitely. I mean, I almost think the relationship between his character and Jacob Elordi's character, it was intense, but it was from a psychological element. I thought it was fascinating.
It was, but we can't give too much away, because I'm really conscious if we say any more about their relationship together.
Okay.
I don't know. I think we've just got to stop there.
It's mysterious.
Yes,
it's mysterious. End of conversation.
What I will say is this really reminded me of The Talented Mr. Ripley. Is that something that came to mind when you were watching it?
Maybe. I mean, I think Barry Keoghan is still very much kind of developing the sort of, not his style, because I think his style's there, but I think you can definitely see the development of, you know, him as a performer, him as an artist, the more films he's in. But, you know, we're kind of, as we're bringing this conversation to an end, I think let's put the reviews, let's put the scores out there. Out of 5, what would you give this? I'm
going to give it a 5 out of 5.
5 stars?
Yes, I loved it.
All 5 stars. And why?
Because I didn't get bored once. I mean, we were talking about A Haunting in Venice last time, and as the viewers know, I was so bored by that film. I kept checking my watch and my phone the whole time, and when
Phones
I watched...
in the cinema, Callum, that is a no-go.
Kind of
that is a
sneaky
no-go.
look at the phone with the brightness down. But I did not have to look at the time once during this film.
Okay.
I was glued to the screen all the way through.
All right, 5-star from Callum. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5.
Why
think,
not 5? What's holding you back?
I think, you know, there's always an element of ambiguity with this, and I think Emerald Fennell meant to do that. I think this is a really incredible effort. Artistically, it was spot on. The performances were great. I like the dark comedy, the black comedy elements of this. Some of the storyline was a bit too for my own personal taste
You were
as
too
a critic.
shocked by it.
I mean, the twist made sense at the end. Not that there may be a twist, but I mean, listen, the plot at the end, it was the sort of film where I came out of it not really sure what to think, and then I processed it later. And the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. But for my first impressions, I just came out of the cinema going, what was that?
I think a good film evokes confusion, evokes shock, evokes emotions within you.
But that's the thing, I think there was just an ever so something in me that was just left that little bit unsatisfied at the end. I don't know what it is. It might be a hunch. I think there's definitely, there's more to see of Emerald Fennell. I think, you know, promising young woman, Saltburn, we saw her acting in The Crown as well. She's one of these acting directors. She gets the art. She gets the art of filmmaking. She gets the practice. I think there is more to see from her, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. And let's hope, and I really hope, that it might be something a little bit different from the intimate psychology, as I like to call it.
No spoilers.
Absolutely not. Callum, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
As always, this is the show that doesn't tell you what to think, but simply says what's on, and we want to hear from you. Please comment below, click the like button if you want, and for even more of the latest showbiz and film news, keep up to date with The Sun Showbiz on YouTube and of course our website. And if you can, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time.